In this video, we're going to talk about dictionaries. Dictionaries, as the name suggests, maps a key to its value. Just like an English dictionary, when you search for a meaning of a word, that word is the key, and the definition given by the dictionary is the value, which is the output for us. There are two ways to create a dictionary. One is using curly braces, and the other is using the dict constructor. This creates an empty dictionary. In order to fill it with data in the curly braces method, we separate key and value using a colon. The keys in strings, although keys can also be integers, but commonly they are strings. The values can be of any type: int, float, lists, tuple, or another dictionary. Let me fill it with a student's record of Newton. Let's have his name. Name is the key here, and the value is his name. Let's call it Isaac Newton. His roll number as 1643. He is so lucky that it is also his birth year. Let me fill his grade as 5, and let's have his marks in physics as 35. I know there's been a mistake. Newton's physics marks can never be this low. Let's find out what happens when Newton finds out the errors in his record. While using the dict constructor, we use it just like a name-value pair, like we assign a variable. We can see both works fine. While using the dict constructor method, we use it just like a name-value pair, like we assign a variable. But we cannot use something like integer 1 is equal to 1 or string of 1 is equal to 1. This declaration is invalid for an assignment, so this shows an error. But in the other method, it is possible to have an integer, that is in the curly braces method. Let me stick with the curly braces dictionary for now. So if I print it, we can see the key value pairs. We can find the length of the dictionary using the length method. It returns the number of key value pairs. So during queries, if we want to get a value as output, when we ask for a particular key, we can just print the name of a dictionary in square brackets. We specify the key in quotes for which we need the value. Let's specify name here. If I run it, this prints the value of the key as Isaac Newton. Now if I try to access a key which is not in the dictionary, for example, the school name, it raises an exception. Python says, "No offense, but the key you are looking for is not in the dictionary." None taken, Python. So in order to avoid this Python's behavior, we can first check if the given key is in the dictionary and proceed to access the key if the key is present. If the key is not present, then we can just print something useful to the user. We can do this with the in operator and check if the key is in the dictionary. We print the value if it exists, or else we return a statement saying that the key is not found. So now it prints key is not in the dictionary instead of raising an error. And another method is you can use the try and except method, but there's an easier way, which is the get method. Get method returns the value for a given key if found, else by default it returns none. We can change the default to any value. Now if I try to access the school key, we get the value as none without any error. I can also be more specific with it and change it to a string that has a message. We can use the second argument to set a default value. I use a string key is not in the dictionary. When I run it, it returns the message. That's nice and neat. Now let's try to add a school to Newton's dictionary. In order to add a key to the dictionary, we use the same method as accessing them, but this time we assign it with a value. If we print, we can see his school name as Stanford. Oops, I think there has been a mistake. Stanford is spelled wrong. Now we have to edit the value of that key. To do this, we simply assign them with correct name. This doesn't add another key named school, but just updates the value, as the school key already exists. Now his school name is correct. Here comes the moment we all have been waiting for. Newton finds out that his physics marks has been entered wrong, and he stands up in protest to change his name from Newton to Newton. We can update the marks and his name by the previous way, but there's an easier alternative. If you want to update or add multiple key value pairs, we use the update method on the dictionary, and we pass in either a name value pair or a dictionary. In order to keep things in a similar way, I pass a dictionary here. I now pass the correct name of Newton and his marks as 97. I'm not sure if this is enough to make Newton calm, but you gotta be fair. I can also add another key value pair to the dictionary, mentioning that this record has been edited. So let me add edited as true. Now if I print the dictionary, we can see the records can calm Newton down. We can only print the keys that are present in the dictionary by calling the keys method. This prints only the keys of the dictionary. I can also print only the values using the values method. So we can see the values here. I can also print both keys and value using items method. This returns a tuple of every key value pair. You can wonder that simply printing the dictionary prints both key and value. Why do we need to use items? The problem is, when you are looping through the dictionary, you can only access the keys, not values. So if I used for key in Newton, I can only print key, as this cannot be iterated with two variables. So here, if I use two variables, it shows an error. This produces only keys. Now if I loop with Newton.items, I can use two variables, key, value, so I can access both of them. So now we can see both key and value. I can print a good format with a detailed description of the record with F strings. Since dictionary contains unique key value pairs, they support set operations like union, intersection, and difference. If I have two dictionaries, X and Y, and if I want to find the keys that are common in both, I can print x.keys ampersand y.keys. This prints the common keys even though the values in their keys differ. We can see B has 3 in one dictionary and 2 in the other, C 4 and 3 in the other. So as we are concerned only with the keys, we can get B and C as common keys. But if I print x.items and y.items, we get an empty set. This is because though they have the same keys, the values inside them differ. So if I change that so that both contains the same key value pairs, and if I run it, we can see they print B and C key value pairs. I can find the union of both the dictionaries using the pipe operator, and if I run it, it prints all the key value pairs of X and Y. If I have different values of X and Y, that is B and C containing different values in the dictionaries, and if I run now, it contains a unique tuple for those key value pairs as the values don't match inside them. So the keys may be same but the values differ, so key value pairs are generated for every item. Let me change it back to same. I can print the difference using the minus as the difference operator, and if I run it, we can see that it prints A. As X contains A but B doesn't contain A, it prints the key value pair of A.